Has the idea of a sunken, advanced civilization ever piqued your curiosity? Let's embark on a journey to explore the Enigma of Atlantis, the fabled lost city that has captivated the imagination of scholars, historians, and dreamers alike for over 2 millennia. The story of Atlantis, as we know it, originates from the ancient philosopher Plato's dialogues Timaeus and Critias, penned around 360 BCE. In these works, Plato introduces us to a thriving, advanced civilization that supposedly existed 9,000 years before his own time, and was lost to the sea in a single day and night of catastrophic earthquakes and floods. The mystery of Atlantis has given birth to a multitude of theories and controversies. Some believe the city to be a pure work of Plato's philosophical fiction, a utopia created to convey his theories on governance and morality. Others, however, are convinced that the detailed descriptions of Atlantis indicate a real historical place, a sophisticated civilization lost to time and tide. This advanced civilization, as described by Plato, was said to be a marvel of architecture and technology, with concentric islands, grand temples, and advanced maritime capabilities. If real, it would have been a civilization far ahead of its time. Over the centuries, the fascination with Atlantis has only grown. The idea of a lost, advanced civilization has sparked countless expeditions, inspired numerous works of art, literature, and film, and even influenced the development of New Age philosophies and theories about extraterrestrial life. There is a certain allure to the mystery, the possibility of an undiscovered piece of history lying deep beneath the ocean waves, waiting to be found. The Enigma of Atlantis continues to fuel our collective curiosity, challenging our understanding of human history and our place in the world. Join us as we delve into the depths of time, starting from the very source of the Atlantis legend, the ancient philosopher Plato. So, where did this saga of Atlantis truly begin? Well, our tale originates from the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. In his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, he first breathed life into the narrative of Atlantis. Plato, a man of wisdom and intellect, was known for his philosophical insights. But his accounts of Atlantis have intrigued historians and enthusiasts for centuries. Plato described Atlantis as a civilization that was far advanced for its time, a society that existed around 9,000 years before his own era. That places Atlantis in a period far removed from the known history of human civilization, a time when humanity was only just emerging from its infancy. This detail itself has been a source of much debate and speculation among scholars. But what of the city itself? According to Plato, Atlantis was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with ancient geography, the Pillars of Hercules refer to what we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar, the gateway between the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. So, according to Plato, Atlantis was somewhere in the vast expanse of the Atlantic. And it wasn't just any city. Plato painted Atlantis as a marvel of architecture and engineering, a metropolis with grand palaces, temples, and docks. The heart of the city was a hill, surrounded by rings of water and land, connected by tunnels large enough for a ship to pass. Plato's Atlantis was also a society of great naval power, its influence reaching across the world. Yet, despite its might and grandeur, it was a civilization that valued wisdom and virtue above all else. It was a utopia, a perfect society, an image of what Plato believed an ideal state should be. But as with all great tales, Atlantis was not destined to last. And it's the Fall of Atlantis, a tale of hubris and divine retribution that has captured our imaginations for over 2 millennia. According to Plato, Atlantis was a marvel of architecture and engineering, a society unlike any other. But what led to the downfall of such a powerful civilization? This question has intrigued scholars and enthusiasts alike for centuries. According to Plato, the decline of the Atlanteans was not due to any military defeat or economic collapse, but rather a moral and ethical downfall. Plato describes a society that was initially utopian, guided by virtue, wisdom, and a deep respect for the gods. The Atlanteans were endowed with natural resources, wealth, and military power. However, as they grew in power, their moral compass started to waver. They began to lust for more than what they had, their hearts filled with greed and corruption. This moral decay, Plato argues, angered the gods. The philosopher narrates a chilling account of the gods' wrath. Zeus, the king of the gods, convened a meeting to decide the fate of the arrogant Atlanteans. The outcome was as swift as it was severe. In a single day and night, cataclysmic events unfolded. Earthquakes shook the land, fires raged, and floods swept over the city. Atlantis, in all its grandeur, was swallowed by the sea, disappearing without a trace. This divine retribution, as detailed by Plato, served as a warning to his contemporaries. It was a lesson about the dangers of hubris, the perils of losing one's virtues, and the inevitable downfall that follows moral corruption. It's a tale as old as time, yet it resonates even today. However, it's important to note that Plato's account is the only historical reference we have about Atlantis. While it paints a vivid picture, it also raises many questions. Was Atlantis real or merely a metaphorical tale? If it was real, where was it located? And what evidence do we have of its existence? These questions have spurred countless explorations and theories, each adding a new layer to the mystery of Atlantis. The dramatic end of this once powerful civilization, as narrated by Plato, has fueled speculation and debate for over 2 millennia. The story of Atlantis, it seems, is far from over. Where might the sunken city lie hidden? This is a question that has been asked for centuries, with countless theories proposed, analyzed, and debated. As we delve into the quest for Atlantis, we find ourselves faced with a myriad of possibilities. Let's begin with one of the most popular theories, suggesting Atlantis might be submerged somewhere in the Mediterranean. This theory is largely based on the fact that Plato, the original source of the Atlantis story, was himself a Greek. It's believed he may have been describing a civilization closer to home, possibly an advanced Minoan civilization on the island of Crete, which was devastated by a volcanic eruption and subsequent tsunami around 3,500 years ago. Then there's the theory that Atlantis lies in the Caribbean, specifically in the region of the Bahamas and Cuba. Proponents of this theory point to the Bimini Road, a peculiar underwater rock formation near the Bahamas, as a potential road or wall of the lost city. Furthermore, satellite images have revealed what appear to be underwater city structures off the coast of Cuba. Yet another theory, though more controversial, places Atlantis in Antarctica. This theory, often associated with the fringe science of cryptoarchaeology, suggests that a shift in the Earth's crust around 12,000 years ago could have moved Atlantis from a temperate region to the South Pole. Each theory comes with its own set of supporting evidence and counterarguments, making the search for Atlantis a complex and intriguing journey. Some theories are based on scientific evidence, others on historical texts, and some on pure speculation. But all share a common thread: the irresistible allure of a lost civilization, advanced beyond its time, waiting to be discovered. As we continue our exploration, we must remember that the hunt for Atlantis is not just a search for a city, but a quest for understanding our own past. The exact location of Atlantis, if it ever existed, remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time. Was Atlantis a real place or merely a philosophical allegory? This question has intrigued and divided scholars for centuries. On one side of the debate, we have those who believe that Atlantis was a real place, a lost civilization swallowed by the sea. They point to Plato's detailed descriptions of the city's layout, its customs, and its military might as evidence. On the other side, we find those who argue that Atlantis was a moral allegory, a cautionary tale crafted by Plato to illustrate the dangers of hubris and moral decay. These scholars contend that the vivid details provided by Plato were not intended to describe a real city, but were rather illustrative tools, used to make his philosophical points more compelling. They argue that his description of Atlantis's downfall serves as a stark warning about the consequences of straying from virtue. Complicating the matter further is the lack of references to Atlantis in contemporary texts. Despite the profound influence Plato had on Western philosophy, none of his contemporaries or students mention Atlantis in their works. This conspicuous silence has led many to question whether Atlantis was ever a part of the accepted historical narrative. Similarly, the absence of concrete archaeological evidence has also cast doubt on the existence of Atlantis. Despite numerous expeditions and theories about its possible location, no definitive proof of Atlantis's existence has been unearthed. Yet the allure of Atlantis persists. The story of a mighty civilization falling into ruin due to its own hubris resonates with us on a deep human level. It serves as a poignant reminder of our own potential for greatness and destruction. And so we find ourselves caught between fact and fiction, between the tangible and the allegorical. We may never know for certain whether Atlantis was a real place or a philosophical construct, but perhaps it's this very enigma that fuels our fascination. After all, the mysteries that elude us are often the ones that captivate us the most. Whether real or allegorical, Atlantis continues to captivate us. How has the legend of Atlantis permeated our culture? Now that's a question with 1,000 answers. The myth of Atlantis, this ancient, advanced society that seemingly vanished without a trace, has seeped into our cultural consciousness like ink into parchment. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find an area of popular culture that hasn't been touched by the tale of this lost city. Let's start with literature. Ever since Plato sparked our imaginations with his dialogues, writers have been captivated by the allure of Atlantis. The city has been imagined and reimagined in countless novels, novellas, and short stories. From Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea to Marion Zimmer Bradley's The Mists of Avalon, Atlantis has served as the backdrop for epic adventures and profound philosophical musings. Now let's talk about the silver screen. Atlantis's appeal isn't limited to the written word. The cinematic world has also been mesmerized by the legend. From the early science fiction film Atlantis: The Lost Continent to Disney's animated adventure Atlantis: The Lost Empire, the city's tale has been told and retold, each interpretation bringing a fresh perspective to the enigmatic city. The digital realm is no stranger to Atlantis either. The ancient city has been a popular setting for video games, offering players the chance to explore its grandeur and mystery. It's been the focus of games like the Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, and even made appearances in popular franchises like Assassin's Creed. And that's just scratching the surface. From comic books to television shows, from music to art, the influence of Atlantis is everywhere. It's a testament to the enduring allure of this lost civilization and our unquenchable thirst for mystery and discovery. The myth of Atlantis has been interpreted and reinterpreted over the years, each new iteration adding another layer to its rich tapestry of cultural influence. Atlantis, real or not, has left a lasting imprint on our collective imagination. Why does the legend of Atlantis continue to fascinate us? It's a question that has been asked countless times, and yet the allure of this mythical city remains as potent as ever. The tale of Atlantis, a city of advanced civilization that was lost to the depths of the ocean, is a beacon of intrigue that calls out to our innate curiosity and our thirst for exploration. The story of Atlantis is a story of lost glory and monumental calamity. It's a narrative that appeals to our sense of awe and wonder, our fascination with the unknown, and our desire to unearth the secrets of the past. It speaks to our collective imagination, stirring up visions of a world that was, or perhaps, could have been. The enduring allure of Atlantis is not just about the lost city itself, but also about what it represents. It's about the human drive for discovery, the quest for knowledge and the pursuit of truth. It's about the tantalizing prospect of unearthing a forgotten past, of unveiling a civilization that was far ahead of its time, and of decoding the mysteries of a world that was swallowed by the sea. And then, there's the allure of the cautionary tale. The story of Atlantis is a stark reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked ambition and hubris. It serves as a warning about the perils of overreaching, of pushing the boundaries too far, too fast. It's a narrative that resonates with us because it's a reflection of our own fears and anxieties about the future. But perhaps, the most compelling aspect of the Atlantis myth is its enduring mystery. Despite centuries of searching and speculation, the true nature and location of Atlantis remain elusive. The tantalizing possibility that the city might still be waiting to be discovered, hidden beneath the waves, is a mystery that continues to captivate us. The legend of Atlantis, a symbol of human ambition and downfall, continues to captivate us, inviting us to question the past and imagine what might have been.